Nikki is in Wichita, Kansas. Hi, Nikki. What's up?
Hi, Dave. Not a lot. How are you today?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Good. I'm calling because my husband and I we own two houses. Well, right now we have a mortgage on one, and one is supposed to be our rental property. We haven't been able to rent it yet, but it's the house that we lived in when we got married 4 years ago. And he's always had a dream to rent this property, and he just really wants to rent it. And I have a lot of conflict, so we've been trying to follow your steps since we got married, since before we got married. He's the one who introduced me to you, and um, so we paid off all of our debt after we got married, and we are still debt free. Praise God. Um, but I know that I've listened on your show before, and we've been partially through Financial Peace University, and we've gotten some advice from some of our church friends. And um, renting this house doesn't seem like the right thing to do right now. Um, and I really don't know what to do. It's caused a lot of conflict. It's like the main conflict in our marriage. And I'm just calling you to see what you would advise me to do.
Okay. Um, hmm. Well, I, I hear him whining in the background. It was always my dream, and you're a dream killer. That's what I'm hearing. Because the way you were shamed into your sentence structure, I heard shame coming out. I know it's always his dream, and I don't want to kill his dream, which means he's been telling you that you're a dream killer. And let me just tell you, when you kill somebody's nightmare, you're not a dream killer. You're a nightmare killer. And, if somebody's doing something stupid and you tell them not to do it, you're not a dream killer. That's an act of love. And so your disagreement is based in love here. It's not based in the fact that little boy can't get what he wants. So let's not start there at all. I'm not gonna dignify that with an answer. But what? Let's just back up a minute. I think the two of you need to sit down with a marriage counselor and pan back, because basically he signed you up for a way of handling money that was proven that would be the shortest distance to wealth and generosity. And then once he signed you up for that, he changed horses and decided, I want to live my dream. I want a rental house with that. And so he's the one that changed the deal here. So somebody has to kind of help you guys navigate through the mediation of him changing the direction, because you didn't change anything. He said, hey, let's do this Dave Ramsey stuff. And then he goes, well, I don't really want to do it anymore. Am I missing something?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Um,
And you sound awfully tired, fatigued, and beat down by a stupid rental house discussion. It's just a house.
yeah.
Okay?
I will mention also that it's been in his family, so he has had his family let him know that they would rather him not sell it.
Well, then they ought to buy it.
And yeah, I agree.
You know? And it's, okay, there's so many guilt trips in I mean, you guys are a travel agent for guilt trips around there. Him, his family, it's like a modus operandi. So the two of you need to decide what is best for the two of you. If it includes keeping this house and paying it off very, very quickly, that's okay. If it includes keeping this house and staying deeply in debt because my family shamed me into it and my husband shamed me into it, this is toxic as crud.
This house is paid off. We completely own this house. We don't owe any
No,
money
the
on
one you're
it.
talking about renting.
Right, right.
You got debt on the other house?
Yes, the house that we live in, we bought in 2020.
Oh, and you borrowed money on it because you didn't sell the other one.
Right.
Yeah. So
It, it was it was
so
more,
effectively you borrowed
yeah.
money to keep the other one.
Yeah,
Yeah. What
pretty
will the other one
much.
sell for?
The rental,
Yes.
uh, well, it's appraised at 45,000.
$45 thousand
We could have,
dollars.
yeah,
Well, this
we
is a
could have got
fine
more
piece of
for it.
property.
It's really small. It's like a little one bedroom, one bathroom house
Most
that
people call me with car
needs a lot of
payments
work.
bigger than this, and y'all are arguing about a dump of a house. Oh Lord.
What's the rent on that? I can't
Oh,
imagine
get
it's
rid
much.
of it. It's a piece of trash. There's no question. Listen, 20 years from now, are you going to be glad you own this as an investment? No! It's not going to get better. It already sucks. No, I don't want this piece of real estate. No. No, 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 no. Now, if you want to keep it as a, is there land with it? No, there's not. There's not any land with it.
Well,
Not a value.
no,
No, it's a tiny.
no, it's a tiny house on a big lot.
Yeah.
It has a
And it's very,
real
very
big
old and very
garage.
dumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
It's
tried to fix it up,
$45,000, girl. This tells us everything we need to know. Okay,
I
so
know.
here's the deal. I don't care, but here's the thing. The question you all have to ask yourself as a couple, other people outside your marriage do not get a vote in this, including me. You call me for my advice, I'll give you my advice, but I don't even get a vote, okay? You guys got to decide what you're going to do. And the question you need to do is the two of you, as a husband and wife, need to pan back and say, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, which of these decisions are we going to be glad we did? I can promise you, having owned over 2,000 pieces of real estate in my life, that dealing with the tenant you're going to deal with in a $45,000 house for the next 20 years is not going to add value to your life. This is going to be a total pain in the butt, and all for nothing financially. The only possible reason to consider keeping this house is it's been in the family, and it's a $45,000 keepsake. But even then, it's listen. This is one of those things that he needs to let go of. And so, yeah, you need to sit down with the marriage counselor, because the pain in your voice has nothing to do with this property. It has to do with his family injecting themselves into your all's life. It has to do with your husband changing horses in the middle of the dadgum stream and saying, well, but yeah, take the $45,000, pay it down on your mortgage, and then start working to get your mortgage off. That's what Dave and Sharon Ramsey would do, even if the little house had been in her family or my family. And even if our little families didn't like it, we would still go, check it out. If you want to keep it, it's only 45 grand. Run yourself down to the credit union, write me a check. I'll hand you the deed.
Yeah, and I think the marriage counseling is the key here. This thing has become way bigger than it needs to be. It's just not worth it. It's not causing a ton of financial stress other than the upkeep. So I think there's two sides to this. I think, Dave, you're absolutely right, but I also don't think it needs to cause this much stress for her either. It's not like it's burdening them in
You sound
any way.
exhausted.
It does. It seems like this thing has gotten huge, and it's a little teeny tiny house that, quite frankly, they don't owe anything on. I would do the same thing, and I'd take the 45 now. Like today, I'd take it.
Yeah.
And put it on the house.
I'd take 35. Just
Well,
get
that's
rid of the
true, too.
problem.
Right.
It's not a blessing. It's a curse. Okay?
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a long, yeah. There's a reason you can't rent it. Hello? So, yeah, I think there's the fatigue is not about the house.
No.
It's not about the finances. It's about your husband changing horses in the middle of the stream, saying we were going to do this. Now I decided I don't want to. And it's about all this interference and argument over really nothing. It's not worth it.